So yes guys, hello and welcome back to the Adam Templeton Triathlete YouTube channel. It's been a while since I've done a proper video on the channel, and again, it's not going to be anything fancy right now. It's pretty much just going to be an update. We're currently on Saturday the 13th of June, 8 days out from the Lakesman middle distance triathlon, and yeah, just sort of at the weekends I've just been doing a lot of training, and yeah, just when you do that much training, editing videos and talking to the camera is not as appealing. Or well, in saying that, there has been a couple of times where I've not done any training at all, and that's kind of what I'm going to try and dive into over hopefully less than the next 10 minutes, to keep it brief enough. But this video is definitely for the OGs of the Adam Templeton Triathlete YouTube channel, just providing an update on, yeah, what I've been doing, how I've been feeling in training, and looking forward towards the race coming up, and also things that I've now got scheduled in for next year already, would you believe it? So yeah, kind of looking at training today, done 4 hours on the bike on Zwift, sort of decent enough power and heart rate. It's still, every time I'm here on this planet, every day I ride the bike, it just amazes me more and more how the pros, their LT1 and LT2 lactate thresholds can be 50% more than what I'm doing. It's just insane. But yeah, sort of the ride today, just sort of steady away again. I've been doing kind of 5 hours on the bike, and always just like 5, it's probably just a touch too long because I end up just feeling like I'm suffering by the end. But four goes by a lot quicker. In the first hour, it was sort of overcast, and then the sun decided to come out and start blazing me through the window. So it made it for the classic, very sweaty affair like it's been for the past few weeks. But you know, heat training, poor man's altitude, it's the way to go. And I did start an hour, or yeah, sort of 45 minutes later than usual, because I ended up getting up about an hour later this morning, because last night, I'm telling you, if you're getting a job, just double check if being on call is part of the job role. Would not recommend. I had notifications come through around about 11 o'clock last night, for one of the queues building up, and after I'd done some searching through the Slack company channels, it was then third party gov.uk company's house that was having issues, and they decided to pull up last minute maintenance from 9 PM yesterday, which then obviously affected our services. The problem with one of the alerts was it signals when a certain number of messages appear, but then they'll disappear. But the issue was, because that would keep retrying, it was then notifying me every 25-30 minutes of these retries. So then I had to try and find someone who could turn off the alert, because when I went to go and edit it, I didn't have permissions, and it's enough rambling on. Yeah, I've managed to now reach out to someone who has then said, yeah, they were just going to leave it and wait and see what company's house does. So there's an insight into the world of work for things that I don't understand at all as well. And yeah, after the bike was the usual, off to the shops, and then coffee time. Endurance athletes that don't use caffeine or drink coffee, there is no way they actually exist. Caffeine, very important in training, I would say. It gives you that extra little boost. And at the pool, for the first time since Monday, so 4 days out the water, not the best. I've just sort of been getting back into the swimming properly, and my wrists became inflamed after being at the gym on Tuesday. And it was that way. I tested it on Wednesday morning, and it wasn't so sore that I couldn't swim, but it was sore enough that I just couldn't focus on the swim. So yeah, a few days out of the water, but like I've said before, when you do a kind of long ride in the morning and you're slightly more inflamed, you're so much more buoyant in the water. So I had a decent feel, it was fairly quiet. One of the splashers came in sort of a quarter of the way through, but didn't bother too much. Wasn't letting me by at the end of the lane, wouldn't wait in, so then I'd have to sprint past him within 25 metres during the length, but you know, that is what it is. Good training for sort of swim navigation. And yeah, how far back did I go just now? I guess probably when I done my trip up to Scotland back around the 16th of May for Alana, my sister's birthday. Again, my shoulder was really sore there. That's when the swimming wasn't great at all. And I went for a swim on the first day when I was there, and my hand hit the other person's hand across the lane rope and just jarred my shoulder even more. That was not fun. So yeah, I wasn't swimming anymore when I was there, but I was doing quite a bit on the bike. I managed to get a bit of a threshold run in as well. Done my first 200 kilometre ride and was surprised with the pace of it. It was a decent day out. It was I got to about 100 kilometres in, and was still feeling good. And yeah, managed to tick that one off. Then when I got back from Scotland, as soon as I got back, I was still off on the Monday. I'd went to the physio on the Monday night, and yeah, sports injury clinic Killingworth. Absolutely brilliant. He sorted me out when I hurt my back, when doing the Sunderland 10k end of last year, and he's managed to sort my shoulder out in a matter of a couple of weeks. I went, he'd done some sort of ultrasound on it, and then also done acupuncture to try and get it to release. Gave me a few exercises and says, you don't really need to come back, just stay consistent with these and it should sort it. And wow, when you listen to someone that knows what they're talking about, yeah, after a couple of weeks, I'm now finally back swimming pretty much pain-free. I'd allowed 5 out of 10, even 4 out of 10 to become the norm. Don't do that. If there's an issue, just try and catch it early and then you can move on. But yeah, here we are, it's done now. So yeah, finally swimming pain-free. Still some tightness. I've always had sort of tightness in my shoulders anyway. To be honest, sitting at work, I'm quite an uptight person. My shoulders rolled forward anyway, which is never great. But these exercises have definitely been helping. Then, yep, again as well actually, on that same day, what I done in the morning of that day was do a bike course recce, which I've now made the YouTube short for, of the Lakesman. Very fast course, and yeah, some decent roads, but very busy. I didn't realise how busy they were actually going to be. And normally a Monday training wise is when I'm kind of most tired after a big weekend, and I was still fatigued there, but then I was having to put the foot down because the roads were so busy, and I thought I can't be the one getting in the way. So yeah, that wasn't too fun, and I don't know how well I really recovered from that weekend and the kind of bigger block of training, and just sort of the knock-on effect from that over the past few weeks. And then leading into the bank holiday Monday at the end of May, I thought, you know what, I'll plan a big cycle. I never cycle outdoors when I'm here, ever. Just because if something happens, I can't just phone home and get someone to come pick me up. So I was on my laptop a couple of nights before, found this 4 tops Audax route, 225 kilometres, downloaded the GPX, put it on the Wahoo, and I was good to go. And then, long story short, I was about 80 miles in, 140 kilometres. The last kind of big climb, I knew it was the last big climb. When I got over the top of that, I was then just, as soon as I got to Hexham, like 200 metres elevation until I got home. And that was like another 50 kilometres, so it was going to be cruising. Tailwind on the way back. The bike made a funny pinging noise and I kept pedalling, and then 200 metres later I couldn't pedal anymore because the front chainring, one of the bolts had came loose holding the big one and the small one together. And the small one, when it's at a slight angle and I'm pressing down on the pedal, I actually managed to bend it into the frame. So that then meant I was in panic mode because I was 50 miles from the house, 80 kilometres, 50 miles in the middle of nowhere. And just the immense panic at that point was just crazy. Thankfully, I got to the next little town, and this gentleman, Rob, I did try and take a photo with him when I left him, but my phone didn't work to take the picture. He was kind enough to first try and fix it with me, and then said, hold on, I'll just drive you to Hexham, and you can get the train back from there. Now, this was like a 45-minute car journey. And he gave me the whole tour of the whole way there as well. Just incredibly lucky to meet this gentleman. And yeah, from there, of course, the first train was cancelled. And then when I got back to Newcastle, the bus driver wouldn't let me on because my bike didn't fold. And at that point, I was just so scared that I just got myself robbed and got a taxi because I just mentally burnt by that point. And then even from that day, it just, everything that happened, oh man, you just keep replaying it over and over and over. Because the cycle up to that point was pretty tough. I'd done a big weekend. The Saturday and the Sunday before the bank holiday Monday was big training. And oh man, I was just so tired out. So then by the Wednesday, I was at the bike shop. I took it in, they were able to do the first inspection. They were really quick, smart with that one. And obviously I knew that they were talking about straight away. They were then able to take it in on for Saturday the 6th of June, so 1 week ago today, and said, yeah, the frame, unfortunately, the way the chainring's gone in, and then the pedalling that I did have to do for like 5 or 6 kilometres to get to this next wee town, damaged the frame enough that the carbon is just, there's too much structural damage here that it will need to get carbon repaired. So my bike just now is away with the carbon repair people, and chances of me seeing it for race day is probably not going to be back in time. Again, I'm complaining as if I'm not going to be able to race. I can use my mum's or my dad's road bike. It's not as if I don't have options. But it's just a nightmare. It's just because you just want to use your own bike. But it is what it is. It might still get fixed up in time. But yeah, I don't imagine it will. So yeah, it's just been pretty tough from that point. Just training, I've always sort of seen it as like being on top of the ball, and you want to kind of, it's like running on a treadmill. You want to just stay in the sort of the middle of the treadmill, not go too far forward, but you don't want to start slipping off the back. And I just feel the past couple of weeks I've been slipping towards the back of the treadmill, and you're just trying to catch up, get back on with the speed of it. Momentum is huge in endurance sport, something probably all of you know anyway. And like up until this point, I've literally had no issues pretty much at all with training. Of course, being injured at winter time with the run, that wasn't great. But other than that, everything has been pretty smooth sailing. And it's just, you just feel so unresilient when you have one slightly bad thing happen that wasn't even that bad, because then I eventually got home and there was no other issues and the bike's already getting looked at. But then you just kind of feel unbalanced. And then when doing the sessions now as well, it's like you just catch yourself that when sessions get tough, you want to feel strong at that point. And I end up just catching myself near enough crying all the time. And last Sunday I was going to do is the last sort of big long run day, big training day. And I'd got up and I was getting myself ready, and I just couldn't even bring myself to get out the door. I was just like, I just did not want to train. I had no excitement, no passion for it at that point. So yeah, felt like just pretty cooked. And fitness wise, my fitness is in a really good place. I can get incredibly fit, but race specific, I don't know if my numbers have actually improved at all. My threshold on the bike has been the same for the past 3 years, near enough. I became better at holding the threshold, so maybe before it was set too high, but there's a whole idea of time to exhaustion as well. But it's just interesting. But we'll see what the race brings. Other updates for the race: I was able to try out my new carbon shoes that I've bought, some fresh carbon for the race. Hopefully on the run I can just put something together, because yeah, the swim, if I've not been swimming, it might be some 2-minute itis. Who knows what it'll be on the day, especially if the water's cold. Maybe that might make me swim faster, because if you swim faster you're less cold, and then it'll mean you'll feel better on the bike. Then out on the bike, looking at the times from last year, some people are going like 2 hours 5 minutes, 2 hours 10 for a pretty close to 90-kilometre bike course. Wow, insane. And then the running 4 laps of 5 kilometres doesn't seem too hilly. So, I don't think there's any hills in it at all. So I'll be quite happy with that one. And as I mentioned at the start, sort of looking towards next year as well, I've now got my name down for, after planning to do it for the past couple of years and then being too late to sign up for it, Ironman 70.3 Mallorca, Alcudia. I'll be there. I'll be there on, I think it's the 7th of May, 2027. Towing the start line abroad for the first time, so I'm definitely excited for that. I know it's one that top friend and athlete John Glenn has done before, so it'll be good to go out and see that course. And to be honest, if there's anyone else that I know, even slightly know on Strava, I was thinking about this, the people that I've met through Strava, and like, it's your Strava friends that you just kind of build up over time. I think it would be so good if there was a big group, say like 8 or 10, that we all done it, and the accommodation that you could book for it. Always when you see at events, you'll see these villas and houses that is like, oh, it sleeps 12 and it's like £1,000 and it's extortionate. But then if you actually had 12 people staying, it would balance out to be a fairly good price. I think that would be so good if there was a big athlete house for the race. So yeah, if any is from Strava, following the YouTube, want to come to Mallorca, let me know. Put it in the comments. We'll get a group chat set up, and we can all go racing together. I think it would be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, it's at least one sort of set up for next year already. A kind of early May race, which then opens the door for, I don't know, probably something kind of mid-July, maybe. And again, looking at it, is it time to try the full distance next year? Like, I'd say my fitness, again, I can build an engine. Like, I can't make it much faster or stronger, but I can build the engine. probably this year I'm still not durable enough to be able to properly do an Ironman. I could probably suffer round, but it just wouldn't be fun. Next year's maybe still a wee bit early as well, but I'm tempted. But then I always say that as soon as I get unmotivated for 70.3 race, and I think, what's one thing that would get me going again? Oh, a full distance. So it's maybe just the kind of highs and lows of triathlon, the kind of lull that I've felt the past couple of weeks. I'll hopefully come round. And then this season, I said from the start that the goal was Aberfeldy anyway. So that one on the 16th of August. Definitely that one will be good to take part in again. Another cold swim, but it's all good fun in the end. And yeah, this video here is pretty much just me chatting away, just bringing a quick update. Again, touch wood, no major niggles or injuries or anything at the moment. It's always that way when you get towards races. It's kind of ghost injuries that you feel, but I do such high volume training now that it's like, and I've been fairly consistent with going to the gym sort of twice a week. Just keeps your tendons strong and not too tight. And yeah, 1 week out until race day. I'll probably do maybe, yeah, I'll definitely do a race video. Whether I'll do another one before it, not too sure, but thought I'd bring just one more update. The freshness is starting to come about this week. Again, because I was out the pool, normally I'm training 3 times a day most of the time anyway. So yeah, it then meant it was sort of 2 times a day with running and cycling. And it's just a start line. We're finally here. Freshness is coming about. We'll see what the fitness can bring on the day. And yeah, I hope everyone else's training is going good at the moment, getting ready for races, or if you've done a race already. And there was obviously Bolton 70.3 last weekend, and then a few big ones coming up. So yep, I guess I'll probably sign off there. I know this has probably been now about 25 minutes of me just chatting away about absolutely hee-haw. I've got a few more days on call left. On call until Tuesday morning, so who knows how many more alerts I'll get through, but it's all fun and games. And yeah, I'll catch yous in the next one.